everyone, and welcome back on Watches TV. And after a short but very inspiring summer break and some serious announcements to be made in the days to come, well, I would like to start up the new season of our watchmaking coverage with a general business video coming back on the spectacular success of auction houses. And I want to do so after having read a very interesting paper by our friend Thierry Huron, founder of the Mercury Project, a man we had the pleasure of hosting here a little while back. And he recently published a research paper summarizing some pretty impressive results. And in today's context, where we see things kind of slightly settling down in the secondary market, kind of a sound market correction, considering the insanity of things we've all witnessed, even though, there are still crazy things happening. But nevertheless, watches continue to be seen as a pretty safe investment asset. So according to the research, the five main watch auction houses, Antiquor, Bonhams, Christie's, Phillips and Sotheby's, in the first half of this year surpassed by 47% their overall turnover compared to the same period in 2021 and by 133 compared to the first semester of 2019, meaning that they have more than doubled their sales in a matter of 3 years only. That's quite impressive, and very interestingly, this happened not because of the number of watches sold, which actually dropped by 20% compared to last year. So these huge figures were attained because the average lot price for each sale from these five auction houses has rocketed to 55,000 Swiss francs. In 2021, it was 39,000 and only 29,000 in 2020, if I can say so. But statistically, this increase can mainly be explained by the fact that this year almost 900 lots were sold in the price range between 100,000 and 1 million Swiss francs. That's almost twice as double as from the previous year. And 29 models were actually sold beyond the 1 million Swiss franc mark compared to 18 1 year ago. And when we talk top 10, the Patek Philippe reference 2499 second edition pink gold perpetual chronograph with moon phases became the most expensive wristwatch sold in April at Sotheby's for an astonishing 7 million Swiss franc. And proving that Patek is really special, 8 out of 10 of the most expensive watches sold this year were Pateks, with Audemars Piguet and Gérald Gianta's personal Royal Oak sold by Sotheby's for 2.1 million, and the very unique George Daniel sold by Phillips for 2.25 million, taking the only 2 spaces left on this list. And this actually means that Rolex didn't make it on that top 10, despite being, of course, an extremely strong brand on the auction scene. So coming back on this segment of pieces between 100,000 and 1 million, the majority by far were Patek Philippe, 365 watches or 42% of overall lots, followed by Audemars Piguet, 159 lots or 18%, but you have to take into account these special Royal Oak 50th anniversary thematic sales. Then Rolex, 134 lots, then FP Journe, 63 lots, which also tells a lot on the hot factor of Journe that they benefit from. And again, Patek really standing out and quite significantly so. According to the Mercury Project, I'm quoting, "More than ever before, watch auction sales in the first half of 2022 demonstrated bidders' hunger for rare top quality and sometimes never seen timepieces, especially those with private collection provenance." And they predict that the market will likely surpass 900 million by the end of 2022, with more sales coming in autumn. And we know that the fourth quarter sales are, historically speaking, the biggest ones of the year. So potentially 900 million by 5 houses, that's seriously, immensely impressive. And there are still other houses too in the business. Crazy, right? But the big question, and considering the special political and financial environment we're going through, will this trend continue? Well, in our opinion, yes. The global instability in the market started by the pandemic in 2020 and followed by the geopolitical chaos of 2022, fueled the desire to invest in something that will only gain in price over the years, as was the case during other periods of uncertainty in our history. Besides, there will be more interesting pieces on the market soon enough, as those who started their collection in the 70s, 80s will be trying to profit from the now rare models they bought back at the time. So recent craziness over cryptocurrency boosted the demand as well. More and more people who made their fortune on the rise of the Bitcoin after its dramatic decline in June are now worried about the future and trying to diversify. Fragile stock market and interest rate hikes have also clouded the collective economic outlook and made the secondary market for luxury watches more appealing. And what makes me happy is that the general level of education has significantly increased. And for instance, it's not unusual to find younger buyers involved in these sales, something pretty new. And they are more educated about the rarity, provenance, and exclusivity of technical details of the timepiece they are bidding on. And in the long run, well, this might become challenging for the auction houses as buyers will be more demanding and yearning for the rarest pieces. So yes, there is obviously a bit of speculation around all this, and yes, the market will continue to grow in the coming years. But again, I mean, there is absolutely no certainty that all pieces will increase or hold their price, as we've already witnessed watches bought in the past for vast amounts of money and today are worth a fraction. So quality, provenance, again, obviously super important, but then the market trends can have its effect, something hot that gradually fades, and again, we've seen it happen. And to finish this video, I also wanted to mention another interesting approach which capitalizes on this very favorable wave for auction houses. As a very quick reminder, I mean, the huge amount of watches sold by these houses are proposed by sellers who consign them to these houses, the house sells it, and they take their cut. Well, okay, sometimes some pretty comfortable ones, but that's the way it works. Okay, nothing too original there, but some others try slightly different models. And this is the case with the Zurich house in Eichen, who often own themselves the watches they propose on auction. Of course, this requires quite a lot of capital to do so. And since a few weeks, they have this campaign where you can become co-owner of the company and naturally putting their own stock on auction. So I'll leave you a link below if you want to know a little bit more. But what's interesting here is that they mix traditional way of doing things, meaning consignment, with some kind of secondary technique such as watchbox, but then they leave it to the market to decide the price it wants to pay for it. Interesting. Okay, I mean, this is it for the video of the day, and I hope I didn't get you too crazy with all these numbers. Thanks to the Mercury Project who shared this report with us, and thanks for watching, and see you real soon, and of course, a big Viva watchmaking to you. All the very best.